People online love talking about YouTube passive income. Everywhere you look, someone is saying the same thing. Upload videos once, make money while you sleep, escape the 9 to 5, build freedom. And honestly, who wouldn't want that? The idea sounds almost perfect. Imagine creating a video today, going to sleep tonight, and waking up tomorrow with views, subscribers, and money still coming in while you did absolutely nothing. That sounds like the dream life. And because of that dream, millions of people around the world start YouTube channels every single year, hoping this platform will completely change their lives. Some people want freedom. Some want money. Some want attention. Some simply want an escape from a normal life they no longer enjoy. But here's the question almost nobody asks honestly before they start. Is YouTube really passive income? Or are people only showing the exciting side while hiding the painful reality behind it? Because today, we're going to talk about the truth about YouTube. Not the fake motivational version, not the make money fast version, not the luxury car thumbnail version, the real version. The version creators experience when the camera turns off. The version nobody posts on Instagram. Because there's a side of YouTube people rarely talk about. The loneliness, the frustration, the burnout, the feeling of spending hours editing a video that barely gets watched, the feeling of giving your best effort and still seeing only 14 views after 3 days. The moments where you start doubting yourself. The moments where you wonder if the algorithm secretly hates you. And trust me, if you're serious about building a YouTube channel, you need to understand this reality early. Because unrealistic expectations destroy more creators than bad content ever does. Now, to understand why people call YouTube passive income, we first need to understand what makes YouTube different from normal jobs. At a regular job, your income is directly connected to your time. You work for 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. You stop working, the money usually stops too. Simple. But YouTube works differently. A video you upload today can continue producing results long after you finish making it. That's the powerful part. One video can continue getting views for weeks, months, years, sometimes even an entire decade later. And every single view creates opportunity. Ads can generate revenue. Affiliate links can make commissions. Courses can sell. Brands can discover you. Subscribers can binge watch your content. And all of this can happen while you're sleeping, traveling, eating, or working on something else. That's why YouTube is so attractive. Your content can continue working even when you are not. And over time, your videos become what many creators call digital assets. Think about that for a second. Every video becomes a small employee working for you 24 hours a day. Some videos barely work. Some completely fail. But some videos become machines. They continue bringing traffic, money, and opportunities long after they're uploaded. And when enough videos start doing that together, that's when YouTube starts looking passive from the outside. But here's the part most people never mention. The beginning is the exact opposite of passive. Actually, starting YouTube is incredibly active, demanding, and honestly overwhelming for most beginners. In the beginning, you are doing everything yourself, often with very little guidance and no real roadmap. You are the writer, trying to come up with ideas that people will actually care about. The editor, spending hours cutting clips, fixing mistakes, and trying to make everything look smooth and professional. The thumbnail designer, experimenting with colors, faces, text, and styles just to get someone to click. The researcher, constantly studying trends, topics, and what's already working in your niche. The marketer, trying to figure out how to get your video in front of the right audience. The cameraman, handling lighting, angles, setup, and recording everything on your own. The voiceover artist, learning how to speak clearly, confidently, and in a way that keeps attention. The strategist, analyzing what works, what doesn't, and how to improve the next upload. And sometimes, you are also your own biggest critic, doubting your work, overthinking every detail and wondering if any of it is good enough. Nobody talks enough about how mentally exhausting content creation can become. Because making videos is not just press record. Good videos require thought, energy, creativity, patience, and consistency. You have to constantly ask yourself questions like, how do I make this more interesting? How do I keep people watching longer? How do I improve my thumbnails? Why did this video flop? Why did that video suddenly get views? And at first, the hardest part is this. You usually work extremely hard before getting any rewards. That's where most people quit. Because humans naturally want immediate results. We want effort to feel rewarded quickly. But YouTube rarely works that way. Sometimes creators upload for months with almost no progress. Sometimes they upload 30 videos before anything happens. Sometimes 50. Sometimes 100. And that's emotionally difficult, especially when friends and family don't understand what you're trying to build. From the outside, it can look like you're wasting time. People see you editing videos for hours with only 200 subscribers. They don't see the long-term vision. And honestly, sometimes even you stop believing in the vision. That's the hidden psychological battle of YouTube nobody warns you about. The battle between consistency and discouragement. Because YouTube is really a delayed gratification game. You work now and hope the rewards come later. That's the deal. And not everyone has the patience for that process. One of the best ways to understand YouTube is to stop viewing it like social media and start viewing it like digital real estate. Imagine every video you upload is a property you own on the internet. Some properties are tiny, some never grow, some get ignored completely, but every once in a while, one property explodes in value. One video suddenly gets picked up by the algorithm. Maybe people start sharing it. Maybe the title creates curiosity. Maybe the thumbnail is irresistible. Maybe the topic becomes trending at the perfect moment. And suddenly, everything starts to change in a way you didn't even expect. Now your old videos are no longer just sitting there, they start getting traffic too. Videos you uploaded weeks or even months ago begin to resurface and bring in new viewers every single day. Subscribers start exploring your channel more deeply, clicking from one video to another, trying to understand who you are and what you create. People begin binge watching your content instead of watching just one video and leaving. Your total watch time increases steadily, almost quietly in the background. Your authority grows in your niche, even if you don't fully notice it at first. And your channel slowly starts building real momentum. And momentum on YouTube is powerful. More powerful than most beginners ever realize. Because success on YouTube is rarely one single moment where everything suddenly explodes. Usually, it's compounding. Not overnight, not randomly, not because of luck alone, but slowly, step by step, in a way you don't always notice while it's happening. Small improvements stacking over time. A better thumbnail here, designed to instantly grab attention and make someone stop scrolling for even a second. A stronger intro there, something that hooks the viewer in the first 5-10 seconds so they actually decide to keep watching instead of clicking away. A more engaging title that makes people actually curious enough to click without feeling forced or fake. Better storytelling that keeps viewers watching longer, making them feel like they need to see what happens next instead of leaving halfway. Cleaner editing that removes boring parts, unnecessary pauses, and anything that breaks the flow. Improving pacing so the video feels smooth and engaging. More confidence on camera so you sound more natural, more real, and more connected with the audience, instead of stiff or unsure. And a better understanding of what your audience actually wants to see, so every new video becomes more aligned with what people enjoy, search for, and share. And eventually, all those tiny improvements start working together like pieces of a puzzle finally coming together. That's when YouTube starts feeling passive. Because your old videos don't stop working. They keep getting views, bringing new people in, and building momentum in the background while you focus on creating new content. One video brings attention. Another converts viewers into subscribers. Another builds trust. And slowly, your entire channel starts to work like a system instead of individual uploads. Now let's talk about one of the biggest lies people sell online. You can get rich fast on YouTube. It sounds exciting. It sells courses. It grabs attention. But it's not the reality for most people. Technically, yes, it's possible. But statistically, it's rare. Very rare. And that's exactly why most people underestimate what it actually takes to succeed online. Most successful creators didn't just get lucky overnight. They spent years becoming good at what they do, improving little by little, video by video, mistake by mistake. People only see the successful version, the subscribers, the views, the sponsorships, the lifestyle, the money, the recognition, the confidence on camera, but they never see the hundreds, sometimes thousands, of failed attempts before success finally arrived. They never see the nights creators wanted to quit completely, when nothing seemed to be working and every new upload felt like a gamble. The videos that took 12 hours to edit and still ended up with 43 views. The stress of feeling stuck, like no matter what you try, nothing is moving forward. The burnout from constantly trying to stay creative when your mind feels empty. The pressure of comparing yourself to bigger creators who seem to grow effortlessly while you struggle to get noticed. That's the hidden side of YouTube nobody posts online. And social media makes it even worse, because people almost always show the highlight reel, never the process. Nobody uploads a thumbnail saying uploaded for 8 months and nothing happened. Nobody shows the videos that failed. Nobody talks about the months of low motivation. But that experience is actually far more common than people think. Now, despite all the struggles, despite the slow growth, despite the frustration, despite the moments where quitting feels easier than continuing, YouTube is still one of the most powerful opportunities on the internet today. And the reason is simple. Leverage. One person can create something once, and that single piece of content can potentially reach thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people over time. That's insane when you really stop and think about it. A teenager with just a smartphone, no budget, and no team can build an audience larger than entire companies used to have decades ago. You don't need massive startup money. You don't need employees. You don't need a studio. You don't even need perfect equipment to begin. What you really need is consistency, patience, and the willingness to keep improving even when nobody is watching yet. You don't need employees. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need expensive equipment to begin. Some of the biggest creators started with terrible cameras and bad lighting. What mattered most was consistency and improvement. And that's encouraging, because it means ordinary people can create extraordinary opportunities online. YouTube rewards people who continue learning, people who adapt, people who stay consistent longer than everyone else. And eventually, if you build enough quality content, your channel becomes a system. Old videos continue bringing views. New uploads bring fresh audiences. Subscribers return regularly, not just once in a while, but again and again because they start to trust your content and your consistency. Income sources expand as well. What once started as just ad revenue slowly turns into multiple streams, sponsorships, affiliate links, digital products, and other opportunities that begin to stack over time. And over time, that's when passive income becomes real. Not instantly, not magically, not because of luck or a single viral video, but gradually, slowly, piece by piece, video by video, improvement by improvement. The creators who usually succeed are not always the smartest people in the room, not always the most talented either, not always the ones with the best equipment or the biggest advantage at the start. A lot of the time, the winners are simply the people who refuse to stop, even when growth was slow, even when motivation dropped, even when nothing seemed to be working. Because consistency creates experience. Experience improves skill. Skill improves videos. Better videos create bigger opportunities. And on YouTube, sometimes your entire life can change because of one upload, one video, one thumbnail, one title, one idea, one breakthrough moment. That's why quitting too early is so dangerous. Because many creators stop right before momentum actually begins, often at the exact point where things are about to turn around without them realizing it. So, is YouTube really passive income? Eventually, yes, but only after years of active effort, learning, testing, failure, patience, and consistency that most people underestimate at the beginning. YouTube is not easy